Student friends, today once again we are in the extra lecture to cover the aspect of the topic modulation. Friends, up till now we covered the meaning of modulation, meaning of demodulation, types of demodulation, and also the various types of modulation and how those are used in the electronic communication as far as transmitting and receiving end to carry the signal information from transmitter toward the receiver through the channel. Friends, if suppose at a time many signals are required to be transmitted through the same channel and that to be without interfering with each other, noise free, to achieve such a type of the electronic communication, one can make use of the technique, and that technique we can call it as it is the multiplexing technique. Friends, today we are going to study the multiplexing technique used to transmit the many signals at a time through the same channel from transmitting end toward the receiving end. Student friends, this concept of transmitting the many signals from transmitter toward the receiver through the same channel without interfering with each other is as like that of the multiplexer that you have studied in BSc part first, paper number 4, especially under the title known as multiplexer. Just I will repeat that. In digital electronics, in BSc part first, you have covered that multiplexer is a device that converts many signal into only one signal, that allows many signals to pass through the same channel. It is a device having many inputs and only one output. Depending upon control word decided which input is to be passed at the output. Accordingly, depending upon the control word, depending upon the control line, all the inputs are going to be passed through the same channel at the output. So that maybe it is analog multiplexing or maybe it is a digital multiplexing. Similar kind of an aspect is to be used in the electronic communication to transmit the many signals through the same channel without interfering with each other. That technique of transmitting the many signals from transmitter toward the receiver without interfering with each other simultaneously through the same channel is known as the multiplexing. For example, suppose there are many television channels are there which you are watching on the television screen. All those signals are coming through the same cable and also simultaneously without being interfering with each other. But whenever you want to watch a particular channel, you are going to watch only that particular channel out of so many channels which are arriving at your television receiver. And this is possible only because of the multiplexing technique that is used in the electronic communication. Multiplexing technique has two types. One is frequency division multiplexing and second one is time division multiplexing. Either we are using any of the technique, one can transmit the many signal simultaneously through the same channel without interfering with each other from transmitter toward the receiver. Either by using the frequency division multiplexing or by using the time division multiplexing, one can allow almost all the channel to pass through channels to pass through the same transmitting path toward the receiver. We are going to study details regarding the frequency division multiplexing and also the time division multiplexing. Let us see details of this same. Dear students, multiplexing is the process of sending the number of separate signals together through a same cable simultaneously without interference. There are two types of multiplexing the signals in the radio communication. One is a frequency division multiplexing and second one is a time division multiplexing. Let me discuss with frequency division multiplexing. Frequency division multiplexing is the process of separating the signals in a frequency band is known as FDM, that is frequency division multiplexing. Means here within a given bandwidth the signal frequencies are divided and all together it is passed through the same frequency bandwidth. Meaning thereby, suppose audio signal has a particular bandwidth, video signal has a particular bandwidth, which we have already studied in VSB. The audio signal is transmitted at 5.5 megahertz, whereas video signal has a bandwidth of 7 megahertz. That means these bandwidths are allowed to pass through the same frequency band. Each and every channel has got its own bandwidth. Each and every frequency signal has its own bandwidth. All those signal information is going to be transmitted within the same frequency band from transmitting end towards the receiving end. That means all the separate signals are transmitted within the same frequency band. Separating the signal means different types of the signals are transmitted through the same frequency band, and that is known as frequency division multiplexing. It is related with combining the continuous signals in the given frequency band. Means almost all the signals are combined together and they are transmitted within a given bandwidth. It is required to send a large number of independent channels from one point towards the other. Again, coming to the point of television communication or the signals which are used for the telephone communication, television communication, internet communication, defense communication, radar communication, satellite communication. So many types of the signals are there. All these signals are transmitted through the same bandwidth by using the multiplexing technique, and that is known as frequency division multiplexing. What exactly it is done? How it is? To undergo the frequency division multiplexing technique, the low frequency track signals are passed through the low pass filter. Means low pass filter filters only low frequencies at the output, whereas higher frequencies are attenuated to reduce the noise. It removes high frequency component that do not contribute significantly in signal but disturb other signal in the same channel. So that's why almost all higher frequencies are attenuated, so that only lower frequency signals are passed. And that is the role of low pass filter. After filtering the signal, it is modulated with the carrier wave in a modulator to produce the SSB, that means single sideband, is produced. That means by suppressing one of the sideband and also by suppressing the carrier wave, SSB signal is produced after being the signal is modulated in the modulator. Means output of low pass filter is given to the modulator to produce the SSB signal with original bandwidth of frequency 4 kHz. The bandwidth is restricted by band pass filter. Output of modulator is given now to the band pass filter. Band pass filter is designed only to receive the single sideband frequency. That's why the bandwidth is restricted by band pass filter, combined in parallel and given to the common channel. Output of band pass filter, it is passed through the channel. And receiving it, band pass filter is connected to the common channel, separates the signals depending upon frequency basis and given to the demodulator to detect it. Means first block in the receiver circuitry is the band pass filter which is designed to receive the frequency coming through the channel. Then it is given to the demodulator, where the process of demodulation that takes place, the signal is detected. It is then given to the low pass filter to produce the original signal without any noise. So this is the way one can adapt the frequency division multiplexing, which is represented in this particular block diagram. Look at here, there are many signals, many messages, many information which are represented by message number 1, 2, 3, 4 and n. For each and every message, it has its own transmitting path. Each contains the low pass filter, modulator and band pass filter. For every modulator, the carrier frequency is provided for the modulation purpose. Maybe it is amplitude modulated or maybe it is a frequency modulated. As we already said that low pass filter passes only the lower frequency signals and attenuates the high frequency signal to avoid the noise and to avoid the interference. So signal it is provided in the modulator. Here the signal is modulated and then it is given to the band pass filter, which restricts the bandwidth within 4 kHz. Then the signal is given to the common channel, and this is the common channel. Friends, I remember there are many input signals which are traveling through the same channel within the given bandwidth. Similarly, information number 2, message number 3, 4, 5 and n. So such a large number of messages, signals are transmitted through the same channel within a given bandwidth. So that's what it is called as multiplexing. This is what the transmitting condition that follows. On the other side, when the signal comes from the channel which is common for almost all within the given bandwidth, then they are separated and given to the different band pass filters which are designed to receive the respective signal frequencies. For message number 1, this is the path follows. This is for message number 2 and this is for message number 1. Everywhere there is a band pass filter, demodulator and low pass filter. When the signal from, because this band pass filter is designed to receive only the bandwidth of message number 1 and so on. Output of band pass filter decides only that particular band and it is given to the demodulator, where the original signal is recovered and that original recovered signal is given to the low pass filter. It again provides the original message whatever it is transmitted. Thus many signals are transmitted through the same channel within the same bandwidth. Here the frequency is divided within the given bandwidth. So that is why it is called as a FDM, that is a frequency division multiplexing. Second multiplexing technique is, we can call it as, it is a time division multiplexing. Here signal is transmitted through the fixed interval of time. Time slot is given for each and every signal information, and within that particular slot, that signal is transmitted from transmitter to the receiver. After that time period is over, next signal is passed through the same channel. So here the time is divided. It is as like that of serial communication, whereas FDM is as like that of parallel communication. Let us see the details of time division multiplexing, that is TDM. FDM becomes complicated when number of signals to the transmitted increases. If number of signals to be transmitted becomes more, then FDM becomes bit complicated. Under that condition, additional circuitry is to be required at the transmitter and receiver end. Bandwidth required also increases, but its stability decreases. Meaning thereby, if suppose number of signals at the inputs are increased, then FDM becomes complicated from the point of view of additional circuitry is required at the transmitting and receiving end. Bandwidth requirement will also becomes more, which will decreases the stability. This happens for the FDM when the number of signal becomes more, and that's why another aspect is to be used if the number of signals are many more, and that technique which we are going to adapt for more input signals is the time division multiplexing. The problems in the FDM are eliminated in time division multiplexing. In time division multiplexing, each signal is transmitted with a sample sequentially, and resulting pulse code is used to modulate the carrier. Sampled signal is sequentially transmitted as like serial communication, one after the another, and it is pulse code modulated by means of a carrier wave. Some carrier frequency is used to transmit different pulses sequentially one after the other, so that each signal has allotted time slot in the transmission. Means in time division multiplexing, each signal has allotted time slot. Within that particular time only, that signal has to pass or travel. As only one signal is modulated and the carrier at a time, no need of additional circuitry and bandwidth requirement. Here bandwidth required will be less because at a time only one signal is going to get transmitted. Thus, in TDM, each signal occupies the entire bandwidth of the channel. Means throughout the channel only one signal is present. Look here, FDM is like 55 passengers are traveling in the 55 seated bus. It is FDM. All have their own individual identity. Without interfering with each other, they are traveling through the same bus. Time division multiplexing is within 55 seated bus, only one person is traveling. After his travel, another person comes there and he will travel. So that is how you can understood about the FDM and TDM. Thus in TDM, each signal occupies the entire bandwidth of the channel. Each signal is transmitted for only short period. Here in one frame, each signal is allowed to use channel for a fixed interval of time, known as a time slot. Completion of one cycle of transmission of each channel is called one frame. Once all signals are transmitted, the cycle repeats. Suppose there are some 10 signals are there. At the beginning, first signal travels. Suppose for that Say 1 minute is provided. After that, second signal travels within next 1 minute. Like that, within 10 minutes, 10 signals are travel through the same path. But after 10 signal has been passed, again first signal travels. Again this cycle repeats. So that's the time division multiplexing. In frequency division multiplexing, all 10 signals are passing parallelly simultaneously through the same bandwidth once at a time through the channel. To construct this, a rotating switch called as a commutator connects output of each channel. It operates with a high speed. It remains for some fixed interval of time known as a time spot allowed for each signal. At receiving end, other rotating switch synchronous with the transmitting end is used to connect the pulse received to appropriate demodulator. So this entire aspect is represented in the diagram here. So this is the one frame of time, and then for every frame the channels are there which are traveling signal one after the another. S1 and S2 are synchronous word used in transmitter as well as at the receiving end to synchronize the transmission and reception with each other. Here is a channel or data which we want to transmit it that followed the synchronous word. Receiver first received the synchronous word. It understands that data is coming, and after that the data it will be received. So channel 1, channel 2 serially provided, and for every channel data certain time interval is provided. So this is one frame. For one frame many signals are going to be transmitted. After all signals are transmitted, the cycle repeats. Second frame that starts. Means suppose for 10 channels time required is this much. So that is one frame time. This 10 seconds, suppose for 10 seconds time is allotted. For every signal there is a 1 second. Within 10 seconds, 10 channel signals are passed. And after that, the process repeats. Again, first channel signal that travels. So this is one frame of time division multiplexing. It is same is repeated for the next frame also. So this is actually a TDM process. That is many signals 1, 2, 3, n multiplexer. So many into 1. It passes through the high speed transmission line. It is a channel demultiplexer, again converted from 1 into many. But actually this is a conceptual diagram that assumes time division multiplexing. So here it is a low pass filter. Many signals are given to the low pass filter, then modulator, then band pass filter, and these are the commutator key used in this is the transmitting end, whereas this one is the receiving end. So this is the commutator key that is used for the modulating end, transmitting end, and this is the communicating channel. This is the modulator, whereas this one is a demodulator. This commutator key is connected with this commutator key so as to synchronize the signal. Whenever transmitter sends the pulse is directly given to receiving commutator so that both will be in tune with each other. Suppose this commutator key connects to channel number 1. If this is connected to channel number 1, naturally the receiving commutator key also connects to the channel number 1. Then signal from channel number 1 after modulating band pass filter, it comes to the pulse modulator to which the clock pulses are given. It is passed through the channel, it is demodulated, and it is again given to the channel number 1. So for this commutator key to be connected to the channel number 1 at the transmitting end as well as at the receiving end, it will take, say suppose 1 second. After 1 second's time period has been over, the commutator key shifts towards the channel number 2 in the transmitting end and sends the pulse to the receiving end so that it also shifts towards the channel number 2. Then only the signal from channel number 2 travels through the channel and received by channel number 2 only. Suppose for this also 1 second. After every 1 second, commutator key shifts to the different channels at the transmitting end as well as at the receiving end. Let me suppose there are 10 channels. Within 10 seconds, one time frame will be completed. After that particular time frame, again the commutator key comes to the first channel at the transmitting end as well as at the receiving end. Here time is divided. And the signal is multiplexed. By dividing the time, many signals are transmitted from transmitting end toward the receiving end. This is what we can call it as the concept of time division multiplexing. Friends, doesn't matter whether it is a frequency division multiplexing or whether it is a time division multiplexing. Ultimately, many channels, many signals are traveling through the same transmission path without being interfering with each other and will be received at the receiving end and made available for our beneficial purpose. These techniques are used in the defense purpose. These are used for satellite communication. These are used for radio frequency communication. These are used for telephone communication. Many applications are there where one can use the multiplexing techniques, even that can be used for the television communication. Friends, that's all about the meaning of multiplexing the signal either by using frequency division multiplexing or by using the time division multiplexing. Friends, that's all about the multiplexing technique that is used in electronic radio communication. Dear students, that's all about the topic number 2, namely modulation. Just I will summarize in short. We have started the topic of modulation with the definition of modulation. That modulation is a process by means upon which one can transmit the signal by varying the parameter of the high frequency carrier wave as the parameter of the signal to be modulated changes. We studied need and importance of modulation. We also studied the types of modulation, that is analog modulation and digital modulation. We have studied the details of amplitude modulation and frequency modulation as a types of analog modulation, including their definitions, their mathematical analysis, their modulation index, their frequency spectrum, their power distribution, aspect regarding their bandwidth, regarding concept of DSB, SSB and VSB. All aspects we have covered. Then we have studied the concept of digital modulation, that is ASK, FSK, PWM, PPM, PAM, PCM. All those concepts of digital modulation we have covered. After that, we have studied the 2 types of demodulation technique. One is envelope detector used for amplitude modulation, demodulating signal, and second one is a ratio detector that is used for FM stations. We also studied the difference between amplitude modulation and the frequency modulation. Friends, today we have covered multiplexing techniques also included in the topic of modulation. One is FDM and second one is the TDM. Student friends, that's all about the modulation technique. While studying this particular topic, please do remember that you have to remember mathematical analysis of amplitude modulation as well as the frequency modulation. You have to remember the formula for modulation index of both. You have to remember equation of amplitude modulated wave, equation of frequency modulated wave and equation of power distribution. because sometimes simple examples are going to be asked on these particular equations. And that's why be careful while you are studying the mathematical analysis of amplitude modulated wave as well as the frequency modulated wave. That is the mathematical aspect. If you are unable to understood, please inform me on the telephone, my mobile number, my email ID, and also the WhatsApp group which we are formulated only for your communication purpose. Please watch the videos on the SPM app and also the WhatsApp group which are created for paper number 12. If you have got any doubts, any queries, put down the WhatsApp group of paper number 12 only, because those are the queries associated with the paper number 12. You may ask your queries at any time. Those will be solved definitely. Friends, we can't say much more about the time factor, and that's why today itself, or today as a being time makes us to come again on the online. So that's why we are still studying with the help of the video lectures only. If time permits, we will again come to offline also. But that will be decided by the time factor. But be ready with yourself. University may call your exams at any time. So that's why you continue with your study. Friends, once again remember, we have completed 2 topics from paper number 12. Next time, we will go for the topic number 3. Friends, that's all about today's lecture. If you got any queries, you are free to ask me on my mail ID, mobile number, or even on the WhatsApp group which are formulated for paper number 12.